But your mention of Matteo Ricci makes me think of the second half of your book, because after you get past the exposition of the humanistic roots of the spirituality and you work some of those things out, you give us 5 chapters on what I take it are 5 different exemplary Jesuit humanists.
Exactly.
And the first of them is Ricci. So you've mentioned Ricci. Can you say a bit about the other 4, why they found their place in this book?
Well, the one who is least known, and I found Jesuits who had never heard of him, is Friedrich Spee. Very interesting man. I had never heard of him either until reading his name in a book by Karl Rahner, the great Jesuit theologian. And he said that Friedrich Spee, who stood with the women accused of witchcraft, and I saw a little check there in this book, and realized that I had made that little check light enough. It was a library book to tell myself to go and find out who this guy is. Well, I said, well, if I made that check 2 years ago, I better go now. And I discovered this man who was truly extraordinary, who was a Jesuit who heard the confessions of women in the 17th century who were being accused of witchcraft.
This is in Germany or Holland?
This is in Germany. And he went down into the dungeons. He was on some ivory tower. He went down there, and he experienced what they were saying. And to use a phrase which the society has used in a recent decree about women in church and society, he listened to the voices of the women. He listened to these voices, and believed that they were free.
That they were others, but that they were women.
They were women, and they were accused of witchcraft, and he believed that they were accused falsely. And he risked his life to write a diatribe against the witch hunters and the witch trials of that day. He was doing some social analysis, but we would say today, and looking at the roots of the problem. And he was accusing naive clerics who believed tales about women. He accused the peasant masses. He accused the magistrates who said, and he said, you would not allow your hunting dogs to be treated this way as you allow these innocent people. And he let go this cry for justice, and it was eventually heard. And even at the risk of his life, he eventually died ministering to soldiers in the field, and was virtually forgotten until rediscovered recently.
So he was a sort of exciting, activist figure.
Yeah,
now the other 3 you talk about, Karl Rahner, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, Pedro Arrupe, well, certainly a couple of them were more scholarly, right? More.
They're scholarly and translated for our day. I mean, if we need a conversation today, it's between science and religion. Some people think that they are inimical to one another. And in Pierre de Chardin, you had the scientist and the man of faith come together. He was really the first, I think, prominent Christian to embrace evolution and to say that evolution can be reconciled with Christian faith. And we need it. In our Jesuit schools, we have students study the Bible, but then also study evolution in science class. We have theologians who believe in evolution. We have scientists who believe in God. That these are voices which need to be reconciled, which need to come together in conversation.
Two stories that are not incompatible with one another.
Exactly, and Pierre de Chardin exemplifies that.
Now, what about Rahner, Karl Rahner, who most people can't understand when they even try to read him?
Because they don't realize that part of is kind of the roots of his theology are the spiritual exercises. I mean, his definition of a human person is reaching out. We are constantly longing for more, and that infinity, that never being satisfied, for him was precisely a sign of our spirituality, of our desire for more, which only the infinite God, the absolute mystery, can satisfy.
And the last of them is a man that an activist again, in a way, for a portion of his life. Pedro Arrupe, former general of the Society of Jesus, a man whose name is on 2 buildings on our campus.
And a man who began life as a missionary in Japan, well, his Jesuit ministry, where he immersed himself in Japanese culture and found the beauty. I mean, even after being a general, he would pray as a Japanese monk would, seated on his haunches, and who impressed upon the society the need to translate the Christian message into people's culture, as he did into Japanese culture, into modern culture, but also a man who recognized the great disparities between rich and poor within societies and between societies, and called the Society of Jesus to look at its origins, to look at its desire to make a difference in the world, and the society under his leadership assumed as its very identity the service of faith and the promotion of justice, and that all Jesuit enterprises were to be touched by this value, including therefore Jesuit education. So that Jesuit education today is described very often as educating men and women for others. But then, again, Renaissance accommodation. Being for others could imply a certain condescension. So today it's often being expressed as educating men and women for and with others, emphasizing the need for solidarity and kinship.
A great place to stop. This is a wonderful book. I enjoyed reading every minute of it, and I recommend it to anybody who's watching the show. Dr. Modras, we want to thank you a lot. We're very grateful for that. We're very grateful to our audience for watching today. We really hope you've enjoyed this, and we hope you'll join us again as we go on with more similar events to celebrate this Jesuit Jubilee year. If you want some more information on the video series, well, you can log on to www.voicesofothers.com. For everybody here at our Fairfield University studios, I'm Paul Lakeland. See you next time.